Australia is facing some of the biggest crises in a generation. An ongoing pandemic, soaring debt, skyrocketing cost of living, climate collapse and global instability. It's a tumultuous time and presents a massive challenge for a government just 2 months into the job. It started with a bang. The newly minted PM on a whistle-stop global tour tending to critical business.
I have not had a day off for a very long period of time.
On returning to Oz, Albanese found himself in a fairly flammable situation. The current COVID winter wave set to be our worst ever.
If you look at the hospitalisation rates of yesterday, we are rapidly approaching the highest hospitalisation rates throughout the pandemic.
The PM sticking to his guns despite growing calls for tougher measures.
They know Australians don't want mask mandates, but at the end of the day, they've got to step up and protect the community.
We listened to the advice from the Chief Health Officers. They wanted to encourage mask wearing where it was appropriate.
Hear that? That's the sound of a cost of living crisis. And from petrol to power to groceries, we're nowhere near out of the woods.
This inflation problem is going to get worse before it gets better, but it will get better. It will moderate next year.
Which brings us to the RBA, the Treasurer with one eye on the sledgehammer subtle approach to curbing inflation.
They can't deal with the whole challenge just by jacking up interest rates.
And today he confirmed an independent review of the Reserve Bank, the first in decades.
My focus is primarily forward-looking, and I don't want this to be all about taking pot shots at the Governor or the Board.
Not exactly a show of confidence, but next thing you know, Governor was also backing a review.
It's entirely appropriate for the government to take stock of Australia's monetary policy framework. It's something that we welcome.
And we haven't even gotten to the catastrophic State of the Environment report, the $1 trillion national debt that Labor inherited, or the looming global recession.
Fantastic.
Talk about a baptism of fire.
This is fine.